Friday, September the 20th, 8:58 a.m. And the sun is hot already. Well, I now came out from the shower, and it's already making warm. Well, last night, not last night, didn't bother with last night, but a while ago just some things came to my mind. Some things just came to my mind, and some things I was just pondering about, and a bit not too pleased things in this life. These are things I'm talking about. You may find that my modes will switch time after time. Just human. When you're in this situation, like this, this is just a surrounding. This is all you have. When you learn to isolate yourself. Because you see the outside world as a threat, deception, fakes, lies, everything. Now, I don't want anybody to misunderstand. This is not about anybody in particular. This is a general speech based on everything, right? And this life is too deceptive. So when you're living in this situation, you'll find yourself some days thinking one way, and then some days you'll be thinking another way. Because yes, you see, once you're living, even if you hide yourself in the darkest corner of the earth, right, what will eventually happen? You're still human, and it have humans as yourself exist. And you will forever be wondering and asking yourself how it is, why, humankind have to be like that. What you're seeing happening in the world today, so much hatred, so much deceit, lies, betrayal. It's just a fight down. That is why I realized I learned something I knew many years ago. But in these modern times, it's just coming back to me then as a reminder. And I know I'm right. That is why I don't give a damn about the rich and the famous. Those in power and position, because them is only for themselves. Everything that they enjoy in this land and this earth is only for their benefit. And you know what? Those in power and position, this is what they project, and this is the message they're sending out to society, right? That's only when you're in a certain bracket you belong to the human race. Only when you belong to a certain bracket, only then you'll be accepted in life. If you don't add up to a certain way or standard, well then there's no one in society. So you could complain and have all the problems or whatever your situation. They will always look down at you with their noses. you know, and they will trample above you. So that is why, personally, I don't care about these type of people. I have no compassion for them. The only people on this face of the earth that I could find myself having compassion for is the poor, the sick, the old, children, the oppressed, right? And others which I can't remember right now. But this is just an idea. These are the types of humans, people that I could relate to. And you know what's special about these types of people? The rich people will never tell you that. Listen well what I'm saying. The rich and mighty, right? They will never tell you what I'm about to say. When you look at the poor, the weak ones, the oppressed, the sick, the old, the children, these types of people are not the ones who injecting a false message in society and bringing separation among the human race. Just remember that. I don't look up to these types of people, but I rather look down with my nose on them. They may be rich, and a person may say, "Well, I have nothing." So they should be looking down at me and said, "No, actually it's the other way around." They may have everything in this world for one position, but I look down at these people because there's nothing. You know who these people is? Them is maggots and scum of society. Anytime any individual or groups of people could do things and to bring division amongst our people, they're no good. They're no good. That is why I am an independent thinker. Yes, and I am a critical thinker. I'm not easily influenced by anyone's opinions. There are some people that when they speak, and if it makes sense and I agree, I agree. If it don't make sense, it just don't make sense. I have a mind of my own. And these are some things when you're living like this, like as a lone wolf. These are the things, some of the traits that you develop time after time. I'm not selfish. No, 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 no. I am not the selfish one. The selfish ones is the ones, the masses that you have out there in society. They are nothing but scumbags. They're maggots of society. There's just maggots, you know. Here we're going, the only difference, they have one shirt and tie. Nice shoes, well polished. The hair well groomed. A brand new pair of shoes, new shirt, new outfit, whatever it is. Sit down in front of camera or having conferences, right? Or whatever it is. And words that comes out their mouth, it falls out like fire. And it burns. And the masses, the majority of people, they don't realize and they go on cheering. Cheering what? What exactly they're cheering? You have an option. Join them or join me. You know, if you join my club, we could grow in numbers as just as they grow in numbers. Right? When they talk about freedom of speech, where exactly is freedom of speech? And also, there's something about this thing called freedom of speech. Like I see in some countries, they talk about freedom of speech. But let me tell you something. Freedom of speech, the rules and regulation. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand this. Plain old common sense. If you talk about freedom of speech, well then freedom of speech, it works both ways. both ways. Because both sides will always have disagreements. And disagreements, it don't work one way. It has to work both sides. Right? Isn't that so? So that is why when these people open their mouths and words fall out their mouth, I ignore them because it's just a complete waste of time. If I had the means and maybe the knowledge and whatever else it takes, I'd be standing up against all these people. I know they would not like me, and I don't care. Because I don't beg for friendship. Let me tell you something. I'm a lone wolf. All my life been like that. And I don't beg for friends. I don't beg for friendship or anything or anybody. Everybody life does have the moments. Being living like this, they have the moments. I does have my moments. But in the end, I rather live like this. I don't beg for friends. I don't need fake friends. I don't need to be in fake gatherings. So freedom of speech work both ways. If you could have the right to object to something, then I have most rights as well to object against something as well, or vice versa, the other way around. If you could state or make a claim about something, then I also have the rights to do that too. This is how it's supposed to be. So the people who talking about freedom of speech, right? The people who talk about freedom of speech, they only talk about it because to suit their agendas. Conveniently, they use it conveniently. But when there's a situation that arrives and freedom of speech need to be expressed by the oppositions, then it is our problems. Now they just be working and finding all kind of things to shut them down. So it is their own ideology to bring out and talk about freedom of speech, and it has come right back to bite them in their asses. Hypocrites. That is the name for these type of people. Hypocrites. How a person could go to sleep at night and wake up in the morning and go through a day and repeat the same thing and not realizing you're a hypocrite and can't see that within yourself. And then you're smiling in front of people's faces. Now, as a reminder, I'm repeating myself. What I'm speaking about, this has nothing to do with anybody individual, right? This, which I'm speaking, this fits in every aspect of every organization and based on different situations right around the world. Yeah, very sickening. Well, so how things, one and all? Well, I'm okay. I'm in a different spirit this morning. These days I'm going through my weak moments in life. But this morning, something else just come to me. I have my weak moments in life, which I'm going through right now. But God willing, I will be strong again. I will, indeed. And if you would like to be a friend of mine, well, what will really be appreciated, be a well-wisher for I, be a well-wisher for me. And in return, I will be a well-wisher for you as well. The whole idea, the whole reason, right, behind most of these politicians and people who scrambling for power and position, it just come down to one thing. Forget everything else. It's about security, securing themselves. They have a big fat paycheck coming in, live in the big fancy houses, endless wealth. There's just everything about this worldly life, right? But they don't really care about nobody. And the majority of them, if they do any good, it's just so little that the people benefit. For example, look in my country. In my own country, that is just the case. Where I am living here, in a country called Trinidad, 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 right? Anyway, this is the case that actually, existing is about power and position. Enjoying themselves, they could travel abroad, go in conferences, meetings, put on a smile and sit down with the big ones, and toast together and have discussions. And when you come back to your country, what you're doing for your people. So I want to know, when the politicians in my own country, when they go across in your country and meet with your ministers, your governments, and when they're talking, I would really like to know what it is be saying. But they always had the internet. Check it up. Check up Trinidad. Check up Trinidad. Do the research and see what's happening in this country. Cost of living is very, very high. Here in this country, a bag of bread, Kiss bread, the brand name Kiss, Kiss, Kiss bread, sliced bread, is about, what, $14 or $15, right? And how much slices of bread in one bag, right? Today, a bag of bread could be like $15, and 2 days' time, it could go up to $16, and then in 3 weeks' time, it could increase by another $2. Here in this country, cost of living, it don't have no limit. Anybody, any business person could send up their price how they want, right? Things very expensive in this country. Well, the second issue is such a disgusting thing. Crime. Every day in this country of Trinidad, right? There's robberies in multiple places of the country. Robbery is something, it's so regular and so easily done as if you're walking to the grocery and picking up a bag of bread. Right? That is how crime is in this country. And the government failed to do anything about it. As a matter of fact, they don't really talk about it. Cost of living, when you see them on TV, they will talk all other things, but they just never for once even talk about cost of living. Not even once. That is in this country, Trinidad. So that is why I don't even follow news in my own country. You know, is the news I just look at? The only thing I just look at in YouTube or TikTok, but I don't be in TikTok so much. I kind of cut down on TikTok. But anyway, most of the time is just YouTube. The only thing I just really follow, the news I be following is Palestine. Because that is a bigger issue. And I will explain something. Yes, it have issues in my country with cost of living and crime, but you know I don't really take it on. I reach the point where I don't take on these things because it's a big joke. Because the people who talking about this situation is the very same people who going to put back the government, going to elect the government again to come back in power and give them power and position. So why I must talk about anything? It's a big joke. But I rather talk about a greater event. People dying in Palestine. Little children, babies getting killed. They're dropping bombs and you could see babies with burn, scars, blood all over them. That deserve my time because that is human lives and people dying. But here in this country, everything's a papi. Well, there's a word we just use, papi show. I could spell it in my own way. Papishow. We just say papi show. Meaning it's just a big joke, right? So that is why even in my country, I didn't bother to look at news. What don't make sense to me, I just learning to trash out. And beside the issue in Palestine, there's something else I just follow on YouTube. You know, well, it's something to do with humanitarian things, you know, and donations and all these kind of things, you know, to the people of Palestine. There's a different type of videos. I just also look at that. So I don't have time with these people on them. They don't care about me. So why must I care about them? Who the hell is them? So let me tell you, anybody viewing this, my advice, if anybody looking down at you, but then you have the same right to look down back at them. Because the reality is that if they could look down at you, the question is, why must they look down at you? Did they stand in front of the mirror and look at themselves first? Did they go and look into the very souls and see what there's about? So who the hell is he or she to look down at another human being? But how they analyzing themselves first? So don't give in to these hypocrites on them. They are just empty cans that rattle in the most. They are just worms of society. All these types of people. Yeah. So, you know, I said I'd just do this video because different things came to my mind this morning. And I know I wouldn't have time later on. Some of us will always be meant to live like this. Some of us will always be outcasts in society. Some of us will be loners in life. But it doesn't mean that we lost or we lose something. No. The problem is society. They will try to twist and change things around and make it look like there's something wrong with people like us. But the truth is, it is something wrong with them instead. Because they're suffering with a sickness in their soul that is a disease, and they're spreading the contamination and injecting it into the minds of the masses out there. Be your own independent thinker. That is why it's good to spend quality time by yourself. Only when you spend time by yourself, you learn to understand yourself. You compare yourself with other situations and people. But when you find yourself drawn in the company of people, you will become so taken up with everybody's life and praising everybody. But what about yourself? Do you look into yourself? Try to understand the people that you believe in, the things that you believe in, if it really makes sense. That is why you need to separate yourself from people at times. You need moments by yourself. You need moments by yourself, right? After a whole day lost in the crowd amongst everybody, at least spend some quality moments in the night time and reflect back on everything during the day and the people that you meet and understand who he is. But most people don't understand this. These are the very same people. They will come with all the degrees and best of education And they will beautify words that fall out their mouths. Right? They will use flowery words to captivate the mind of the masses with this so-called education. Right? But you have to understand and realize, and you have to analyze everything. These people are liars. They don't mean well for society and people. They don't ever mean well. They're always deceptive. Don't get fooled by the shirt and ties and the shiny shoes. All it takes is some simple common knowledge and some instincts, to get the analysis going on. That is all. Let me break it down small. Anybody, any individual or any groups of people, whenever they speak, and if they speak in a way that is not really beneficial for humanity, they don't stand for the poor, they don't stand for the oppressed, they don't stand for the weak, they don't stand for the battered, they don't stand for the old, but then they have nothing good to share. Simple as that. Because once they speak, and they speak words that only benefit them, to raise their statuses, to get the views, to look good in the eyes of the public, these people is plain hypocrites. Don't even watch their faces. You turn on your TV and you see them, change your station or pell the remote control one side. Don't waste time. Once you cannot support the poor, the oppressed, a child, a battered woman, the weak, the sick, the old, and etc. Once you cannot talk something towards these kind of things, and you only focus in the worldly life, and to make yourself look good, then there's nothing, waste our time. So that is why I don't really believe too much in humanity anymore. Because it's have too much hypocrisy and lies and deceit. The only thing amongst humanity I believe in is when you see the people crying out because of poverty. They're hungry and starving. A child hungry. A single mother battered. You see the sick in hospital beds. People who lost hope in life and they have no strength to carry on. These are the people I will look up to. I will raise my nose and look up to these people, because these people carry something that is golden that these scumbags and them don't have. You know what these people carry? You know what is their value? The oppressed and the weak ones and all these types of people I mentioned, you know what is their value? They only have the struggles and pains in this life, but they don't bring separation and spread lies and mischief and corruption in the human race. In spite of all the troubles, these types of people are the true people in life. Don't look at what they're going through in life, but look what is within them. And they don't carry the kind of blackness and evil agendas that the evil ones carry, the ones in power and position, who have some form of authority. Look what's happening to the world today. Since when it was alright to just watch people and slaughter and kill? Since when is okay to have an issue with one person, but you could take it out in women and children and kill babies, while the rest of the world applauding and watching and cheering? How come the law could fit in one side but it don't work on the other side? And I must believe in these people? They are dogs in my eyes. They are maggots. They slime scumbags in society. Damn all of them to hell. Damn these people. They are nothing. They are nobody. You're not blasted cajon in the front there. Pause this video. right? It's just a false alarm. And with a car horn blowing to the front, but it blowing to the house opposite our house. Anyway, as I was saying, I don't believe in these scumbags. So why must I really, when you think about it, put myself in society to be amongst the fakes? That is why I'm forced to live in this situation. I have all the freedom in the world. I have nobody to answer to. Look at me. I have all the freedom. I could be anywhere, any place. I could be among anyone. But yet, I'm forced to live in isolation. Like how I'm doing this video right now, this is just my little world underneath one single tree. Because it's worth it out there. So, but I'd like to say good morning. And if this video reaches you, good morning. And as I say, this will be my third time making a mention. This video is not based on any particular one individual. This is about those in power and position, the people who control things in every society, whether it's in my country, your country, that one's country, the other one's country. It don't matter what corner of the earth, right? This topic is about these types of people. I'm sorry if I've sung in kind of way, but sometimes you need to raise awareness. As you yourself, there's always say in your videos, raise awareness. Now this is just my way of raising awareness. I'm trying to raise awareness too from some little corner of the universe. Let me just check with the time. Started this video about 9 o'clock. The time now 9:32 a.m. Well, I will see if I could squeeze in a couple of words, a little more. But in the coming times, I will do some more videos. There will be times maybe I mightn't do any. Is when inspiration come. You know, like when I get a certain amount of inspiration to discuss things and the ideas lock in my mind, I'll be doing videos. Because sometimes these things you really wouldn't be putting out a video every single day. So as how things come and flowing through my mind, my thoughts, and the procession inside and all these things, so I will be, making mention of some things. Yes. Friday morning. Well, it seems as though I don't seem to have anything much to say at this point in time. So I think I will be shifting right now, or ending this video, I should say, until another time. But if this video reaches you, please take a look and, drop your comments. If you have any suggestions of better ideas, anything that could relate to what I'm saying, I may be right, I may be wrong. Whatever your opinion is, drop the comments down below. It's out of these things people could learn, and everybody have the different point of views. So time to get rolling out of here. And all I'm saying, keep well, stay strong, be safe, and most of all, always remember to have a bright smile upon your face. If every person you meet in life and you share a warm smile, that by itself is an act of charity to someone else. Just one smile is an act of charity, no matter who the person is. If it's a person that confuses you the most, if it's a person you don't like, even if it's a person you don't like, but if you share a smile, that is charity. So long. Until another time.